Hi everyone, it's Theo here, and this is a video I've been promising for a long time, so here it is. I've just graduated from Cambridge and I'm looking forward to starting my master's here in Vienna, which is the capital of Austria and my all-time favorite city. I believe it's high time I talked about the career path I chose and why and how I chose it, coming up right after the intro. First of all, it would greatly help with the YouTube algorithm if you click the like button right now. And if you're new here and are interested in seeing more student videos, then don't hesitate to click the subscribe button and the bell notification button to be notified every time I post a new video. Before we get to the meat of this video, I'd first like to do a bit of storytelling. So this year I didn't have the privilege of an in-person graduation at Cambridge with that unique ceremony and all the Senate House extravaganza. My Cambridge graduation ceremony was held online via Zoom, but it was a heartwarming event nonetheless. Clare College is a very musical college and the director of music directed an online benediction for us. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to give it a listen. I think it's a really great musical accomplishment during these times, and it's really made us all feel included in the community and feel that we had a little bit of that promised ceremony at the end of our studies. So it was all on Zoom this time, but they promised to organize an event at some point next year for us to remember graduation. Until then, I'm looking forward to it very much, but I've already started preparing for my next academic year. And that's right, I said academic year. I'll be studying again. I know that most of the UK graduates go straight into work, but having had the experience of working during my year abroad, during the Erasmus Plus program, I realized that I actually want to be studying some more. So I chose to do a master's. I'm not going to do a master's in the same field as my bachelor's degree. I chose to do something quite different, which I hope will broaden my horizons and help me understand the world a lot better. It's the Master of Advanced International Studies at the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna, and I believe that this master's degree will open up a lot of doors in my future career. Now, while preparing this video, I came across Andrew Kirby's video on intentionalism, link below, and I realized it would be interesting to talk about the reasons why I chose to do this master's degree and how I'm making the big decisions in my life. Because there are very few things in life that I do purposelessly. And I like to think that I'm not just following a life script that others would accept or that is in line with what society expects of me. I like to think that my life is all about the freedom to be pursuing the goals that are in line with my values, and that I'm pursuing goals that I personally set out to achieve. Now, I've never shared the thought process behind the way I'm making such decisions before, but I think it's time I did. So why this master's degree? Well, it all comes down to three core values that I've been following all throughout my life. The first core value that has led me to where I am is freedom. I strongly believe that knowledge is the basis of freedom, and that intellectual freedom is the truest form of freedom there is. If we are to imagine a utopian scenario, even if you're thrown into prison, depriving you of your external freedom, no one can ever take your own thoughts, your own free way of thinking. Once you've acquired the intellectual capacity to think freely, that is, unless you've been indoctrinated from a very young age and weren't able to develop critical thinking at all, then you should be able to think freely in any situation, even if you're deprived of your physical freedom. This is how I personally motivate my focus on knowledge and intellectual growth. Now, what I hope to improve during my master's degree is my ability to think critically about complex current affairs, which imply knowledge about law, economics, and politics combined. The second core value that motivates my master's choice is growth. Now, for as long as I can remember, I've been obsessed with getting better at stuff. Whether it was about languages, essay writing, video editing, my focus span, or music, I'm sure I worked on at least one of them every single day of my life. Now, I'm aware of the fact that I tend to pursue growth in too many directions at the same time, which doesn't give me enough time to master a few of them very well. Recently, I've been trying to cut on the things that I've been doing in order to focus on those that I'm sure are worth it in the long run. This attitude is called essentialism, and it might be helpful to adopt some of its principles if you feel like you're a bit all over the place and not being able to focus on the things that actually matter. There is a point where you're involved in many activities and you're emotionally attached to them, and you feel that you can't pull back now, but you actually can and should in order to focus on those activities that bring the most value to your life. Now, the parenthesis on essentialism aside, the way I'm trying to foster growth by pursuing this master's degree is by delving into a completely new field and stepping outside of my own comfort zone. Having studied languages and literature for so long, there came a time when I felt that I couldn't apply my knowledge to the real world, that I wasn't studying something that had practical applications that I could later use in my career. Of course, while writing all those essays about literature, sitting the exams, meeting the deadlines, I was gaining soft skills that I would later be able to use in my career, such as remaining calm under pressure, thinking and typing quickly, not being afraid in front of written work, logical and critical thinking, and so on. But my master's choice was definitely also influenced by my feeling that I wasn't studying something practical enough. Gradually, in preparation for this path, I chose topics during my undergraduate degree which had something to do with contemporary history and international politics. For example, I wrote about Germany's foreign policy for my Year Abroad project and about contemporary history and economics for my BA dissertation. I think this was a really good introduction to what I'll be doing further, because the Master of Advanced International Studies in Vienna includes topics in contemporary history and politics, but also international law, international economics, diplomatic practices, international relations, and also field trips to key locations such as Brussels. And in the second year, we'll be applying it all to case studies and meeting people working in the field. Now, the third core value which has guided me up to now and will probably greatly influence my career choice is improving others. Whenever I ask myself what my dream job would look like, it's always something to do with making the world a better place. And I know this sounds idealistic, but it's always been on my mind, and I've always felt that I should use my skills and my intellectual capacity to bring about positive change in the world. So for me personally, the most fulfilling kind of a job would not be the one which brings me the most financial benefits, but rather one in which I can bring about positive change and where I would be able to utilize my full potential in order to do so. Because positive change can't be brought about single-handedly, my career plans are at the moment centered around working in an international organization such as the UN. I believe it's within the framework of such institutions that you can most efficiently work to make the world a better place. Up to now, I've been spending an immense amount of time improving myself and acquiring knowledge and skills for myself, and I believe that in my career I should be working to help empower others. So the three core values that have guided my decisions up to now have been freedom, growth, and improving others. All in all, I'm really content with my master's choice, also because it spans 2 years, and I really believe that that is enough time to build a really good foundation in a field that is essentially new to me. It's also great for this YouTube channel because it's centered around studying, so this means I'll be studying 2 more years and I can cook up a lot of new and valuable content for you guys. Soon I'll start a series called Theo's Book Corner with book reviews and breakdowns of the main points from various books and my thoughts on those books. So if you're at all interested in books, keep an eye out for that because the first video is coming really soon. Also, I'm planning on setting up a weekly newsletter on Sundays to be able to talk to you on a more personal level and express my thoughts in a written form. If you're interested in that, I'll leave the link in the description and you can leave comments as to what you would like to see in such a newsletter. Because I'm still planning it, so feedback from you guys would be greatly appreciated. That being said, let me know in the comments below what your plans are for next year. If you see me doing study with me videos in the meantime, It means I've already started preparing for next year, reading some preparatory articles, books, magazines, and apart from that, stay safe, wear the mask, wash your hands, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.